Hey guys, I'm here. Today I'll show you how you can use essences to make some craft for some profit or just save some currency instead of relying on the trade website and craft them yourself if it's something that your build can actually use. So let's start with the deafening essence of greed. So for that essence, what it does is for the most part it adds maximum life to a piece of armor, so body armor, helmet, shield, and other armor, and the rest is not really anything special. I don't think ever it's worth running this on other items. So what we'll do here is I just bought a fractured chaos resistance, but it could be any resistance, and then we use the essence, and we're trying to get some other good suffix, another resistance, and then yeah, we'll check how it goes for, how much it goes for. Okay, here we got a lightning resistance, some regen, and with high life. Remember that you can also craft something out of it. Here, 5 divines, I don't think it's worth that much, but as you can see, like the base cost me like 25 chaos, so now we'll just craft something on it. We can craft the increased evasion and energy shield or the hybrid life. In this, I would craft energy shield and evasion. Yep, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, like the reason why it's such a high cost is that having high life like this is pretty good, and there's no way to get that much life as a single prefix without the essence. So yeah, there's that. So as I said, any fractured resistance, and then we roll what until we get something useful. All right, next we have the deafening essence of Contempt. So this gives to any weapons flat physical damage. So I like to use it on a weapon that needs physical damage. So a bow, maybe a bow, or here the example we have is this Despot Axe. This is used in Bone Shatter. So yeah, we just roll it until we get something good. And here we have a fractured tier 1 attack speed. So we're trying to get a hybrid physical or a increased physical damage, hybrid physical and accuracy. Here we got the hybrid, but it's too low, and we have fire, so we'll just reroll of it. Here we got the flat fist, but not the flat fist, the increased physical damage, but it's too low, so we roll over it. Again, increased physical damage, too low. Fallen fire, no. Lightning, no. Fallen fire. King. So this is not the best, but it's good enough. And then we can just craft increased physical damage. Oh, but you look at it, it's already like, oh, already at least 5, 6 divines. So as you can see, you can get way better than this because here we have only 105% increased physical damage and a really low tier of the hybrid physical and accuracy. But as you can see, with a couple of essences, you can make way more than what you paid for. I paid 125 chaos for the base. The other ones were like 1 or 2 divines, so this one was way cheaper. But as you can see, there's a lot of ways you can make currency with essences. You don't have to sell your essences. Alright, next we have Essence of Hatred, so Deafening Essence of Hatred. I grouped Deafening Essence of Hatred, of Anger, and of Wrath together because they're pretty much the same thing. They on a weapon they add whatever elemental it is, so cold, fire, and lightning damage to it. And for the resistance, they all add a tier 1 resistance. So what I like to do is either use it on a bow, early on a 6-link bow. It can be useful if you want to make a good elemental bow, or if you want, always you use it on belts. So what I'll do now is I'll just scour one, and if you want to go further, then why I scour it, if I'll use Prismatic Catalyst. The reason why I say if you want to go further is that, for example, this league, Prismatic Catalysts are like around a like 30 chaos per, so they kind of pricey, but we'll just use it. And if you scour it, as always, using any quality on an items, if it's white, it gives 5 quality. If it's magic or blue, it's 2%, and if it's a rare item, it's only 1%. This is why we're doing this. And then yeah, we just roll until we get something useful. Here, I don't think so. As you can see, guaranteed tier 1 resistance is cool. Here we got a good other resistance. So as you can see, those essences go for about 5 chaos each. If you just check this out and then maybe you craft another resistance, so it goes up to 120 resist. It's already like 100 chaos. So as you can see, it's way more than what you put in. And if we're lucky, we can hit something else. And here we'll do the same. Here we nothing special. Again, like too low tier life and inner shield is cool, but the tier are too low and the strength is too low also. Here we have a tier 2 life, but the rest is meh. We have some energy, maybe we can keep it that way. And then for the last one, this is, you have to remember it's increased by 20% the resistance modifiers. So here is a good example. So now, once we have done this done, just craft resistance here, as I said. That one has fire and cold, so maybe lightning and maybe chaos. I really like to craft chaos. Okay, and then that one is pretty meh, but still we'll do the same thing, chaos and lightning. And then for that one, we'll just what we can do is actually block something we don't want as suffixes, Exile Slam, and then craft our what we actually want. So this is exactly what I'll do. I'll bring a Exalt with me. Then on suffixes, we do not want attributes, so I don't think we need. Don't we want strand or yeah? So we'll just plug the strand. So with that one, oh wait, the strand is plugged. Dexterity cannot normally roll on belts, so we'll just Exalt Slam it and try to get a high tier of whatever resistance. Here we got tier 8. It happens sometime, but then we can craft, I don't know, any resistance. Maybe that one has lightning, so maybe cold and fire. And if you get it, it's not anything special, but for sure it's not worth that much. But as you can see, it's pretty easy to craft something that's worth way more than what you invested into it. So that's why I regrouped them in the same category. As I said, you can use it on the bow too, but yeah. It's way more than what the essences are. As I said, they're like 5 or 6 chaos per. Alright, next we have Essence of Woe. So for that one, you could use it on a Scepter or a Wand, for example, which will give you increased spell damage. With a Fracture +1 or something, it could be useful, but for the sake of this view, I will be using it on a pair of Sorcerer Gloves, which has 100% base percentile energy shield, and I'll show you how to check for 100% base percentile. And what it actually means is that if you look at the top where it says energy shield, between the parentheses it says 49 to 57, so whenever you have 100% you will have the maximum energy shield. And the way you search for it is when you are on the website, here on the armor filters you can check base percentile. And for those gloves, I actually bought the item level 84 at least. And the reason why is that if we go back to the game, is that increase energy shield, so the not the flat arm energy shield, but the increase. The highest tier is 84. That's why we're using this. So yeah. And then we're trying to get something useful. Here we have the tier 1 increase energy shield on the first one, and tier 1 regen life and attack speed. So this is something I would keep. Now you just quality it. And yeah, we got super lucky, not gonna lie on this one, but as I always say, being lucky, if you do it a lot of time, it will happen a lot. Here you can see like 10 divines on a single click. As I said, we got lucky because we had hit like 3 other tier 1. So what I would like to do is probably craft some more energy shield on it. So type in energy. Here we can craft the hybrid and the life energy shield, right? So that's another increase percent. And then for the suffix, you can just Exile Slime it. Hope we get lucky. Gain life per enemy kill isn't too hot, but... And then, yeah, as you can see, this is worth a lot. But if you do this a couple of times, you will sometimes get some good modifiers. Alright, next we have Essence of Fear. So what I used to do is use it on a +1 Fractured Scepter before before the rework of Righteous Fire, and it would sell like hotcakes. And to be honest, if I was playing Righteous Fire, it would be a good way to find an upgrade. But since that Righteous Fire has changed a lot now, I'm not crafting those anymore, and the +1 fractured on a scepter is actually like close to 20 to 30 divines, so I don't think like it's worth the investment, especially if you're just trying to get some profit out of it. If you want to make the best item, maybe, but so yeah. Instead, what we do is I'll use convoking ones with a fracture modifier. Here we have on both of those we have increase attack and cast speed for minions, so we'll just use it until we get something cool. Like here we got the tier 1 accuracy on minions, would be useful. Here nothing too cool. Minions have critical chance multiplier, so and then you can stop there, or you could reroll of it. It's up to you. Like for example, if we look at the attack speed, accuracy, and increased damage of minions, if I go lower maybe. Right now there's none, but well, you can always like 2 divines for a somewhat worse one. So as you can see, and the base I paid like this one I paid 25 chaos and this one 20 chaos. So you can see it's pretty easy. And if we were to look at this, so damage, care about 10 divines. As I said, double check it. For sure it's not worth 10 divines. You can see it's way too easy to craft, but this is a good start. And then you can sell it for maybe 2 divines, something like that. So as you can see, from a single essence and a good base, you can make way more money than what you invested into it. We already went over Anger. Next we'll go to Torment. I like to use this on belts, and the reason why I like to use it on belt is that if you combine it with the jewel Storm Shroud, you can actually come up to 100% chance to avoid ailments with if you have 100% chance to avoid being shocked, since that essence can already give you 56 to 60% void. You can be pretty much element immune. So what we'll do, elemental elements immune. So what we'll do is just use it until we get something useful. But if we check like this is pretty bad, but if we only check like avoid being shocked, that modifier with an abyssal socket, already the minimum one with some resistance is at 40 chaos. So we're already in the profit, but we'll try to reroll over it until we get something real cool. Flash start gain is a bit too low. The tier 1 energy shield is cool, but all of it. Okay, here we have a tier 2 resistance and a chaos resistant. We can just craft life on it, and I'll check back for the price. We go, and if we check all the modifiers here, there's none. If I'll remove the chaos, already 1 divine minimum. So you can see it's pretty easy, right, to craft something way better than what you paid for. All right, next we have Sorrow. So I'll put it in the same category as Spite because we're trying to get some attributes. So if you look at the modifier, it says on other items 51 to 58 dexterity, and same for intelligence with the Spite one. So what we'll do is just we'll use Scour on item level 85 Advise, and same for a ring, but it will be a bit different for the ring. And then we use Catalyst, so the intrinsic Catalyst increase the attributes. Since we're using an essence that gives it attribute, this is what we'll do. Like I said, this is why we Scour. And then here, since it's a magical item, we have to use 10 of them. And then, yeah, we just use it until we get... And the reason why we use intelligence and dexterity is that it cannot roll normally on the belt, but strength can. So we're trying to get a high tier of strength with it. Here we got gold, but the rest is meh. Try to get something. Dexterity guaranteed. Oh, here we got double resistance. We can craft life on this one, so we'll keep it aside. And just when we reroll over it, we hit the strand, but sadly it's a bit low. But then again, we got the flask effect duration, so we'll keep it aside. It's already something. And then, yeah, we... Oops, I have to make it rare first. Bad. Yep, and then we roll until we get something good. So as I said, here we have the guaranteed dex for the essence. We have the fractured strand. And then we're trying to get something good. If we get the other, so the intelligence, if we're using this one, or the dexterity if we're using this one, it's already good. If we get chaos resistance, it can also be good. Recoup could be, but this one's too low tier. And here we have a good example. So if we look at all those modifiers, like it's 10 divine. Maybe it won't sell for that much, but you can see it's pretty easy to craft this. We're guaranteed a tier of strand, guaranteed the dex with the essence, and then we're trying to get the other one. Then you can lock suffixes and use a Velkios orb or just craft life. For the rage essence, you can do something real similar to the sorrows, but on the amethyst ring with a fractured attribute. But instead, try to find one that has dexterity or intelligence, and it's the same thing pretty much. Just just don't use it on belts because you cannot hit dexterity or intelligence on a belt, so that's why we were using those on belts. For the essence of suffering, to be honest, I didn't find any use out of it. Maybe someone in the comments can leave a good way to use them, but flat damage to spell isn't something that people are really looking for. Like it's a good added mod to something that's already good, but this is something I would like be looking at. And here we have Rat, already talked about it. Next we have Deafening Essence of Doubt. So Doubt is pretty much the same thing. I'm not really sure what it's worth for. You can use it on a quiver that has like fractured some a good fracture modifier and then guaranteed accuracy for someone who's looking for accuracy, but it's better to get other suffixes on your quiver other than accuracy and get accuracy on your gloves or your helmet, so I'm not sure about that one either. Next we have Essence of Loathing, so this is a big one. Can you even use lower tier if it's like, but increase mana reservation efficiency on skills on other armor, which means body armor and helmet. It's pretty good on both. I would suggest using it on a fractured item. For the sake of this example, I'll be using it on a 13% increase, a chance to suppress spell damage helmet. So here we have the guarantee. The rest is meh. Can care about the rest. Here we have some resistance, but if we just look at this, 13%, okay, just straight up those, like I remove 8 divines. So as you can see, and I paid like 100 chaos, so close to a divine for it. But I will re-roll over it because the other modifier too bad. Like the resistance is too low, same for the life. So. Okay, intelligence is okay, and we got the hybrid life and the evasion, so we can just craft life on it, and then we'll see.
I'm not up to that just yet.
There we go. So if you were to look at 9%, some life, and not even checking the intelligence. So at least like 10 divine. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to come up with something good using those essences. There's plenty of stuff you can do with those, but the best one, in my opinion, is increased maneuverization on body armor or helmet. Next, we have Essence of Zeal. So it does a bunch of stuff that's useful. Guarantees that attack speed on weapons, attack speed on gloves, movement speed on boots, and cast speed on rings. So there's a bunch of stuff that's useful with this. On attack speed on quivers too. But the one we will be doing in this video is on gloves. So we bought a base that has spell suppression fractured onto it. For some reason, that pair was only 100 chaos, while I was looking for a 13% chance to spell suppress damage, which will go around 1 and 2 divines. That one was way cheaper, and it's 14, so we got lucky. But you will see the end product will always be more, so we just reroll over it. And here, just check 14% spell suppression and 17 attack speed already. We're in the profit, and you can craft. Oops, sorry about that. You can craft life to have even more. Let's say if we craft up to 70 life, let's say we get 90 life instead. Goes up a bunch. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to come up with something way better. Alright, next we have Anguish. So again, I don't know what this is for, to be honest. Like flat fire damage to spell is okay, but this is not something you're really looking for. And the rest is so-so. So if you have any idea where to use it, on which piece it's good, let me know in the comments. And the next one is Spite. We already went into it. So that will be it for this video, as it's already way too long. On the next part, I will be talking about all the purple essences and the corrupted essences. If this was helpful to you, consider subscribing to the channel, and as always, take care guys.